A quiet weekday at the Lotus Salon flows slowly. Soft music plays. The scent of hair dye and hairspray hangs in the air. Two clients quietly converse with a stylist in front of a mirror. Receptionist Lily shuffles papers on the counter. Everything is going as usual. Suddenly the phone rings. Not the usual bell at the counter, but the direct number to the owner's office. The ringing is sharp and insistent. Lily jumps. This phone rarely rings. She glances at the frosted glass door of the office. Behind that door sits Kim Hansol. He's the salon owner. He's 30 years old. He has a calm face and an attentive gaze. He's looking through the new hairstyling products. The ringing makes him pause for a second. He puts down his tablet and picks up the phone. "Speak," he says quietly. He listens. He doesn't say a word. His face doesn't change, but the fingers of his left hand tap lightly on the table. It's the only sign of tension. "I understand," Hansol finally says. His voice is even and polite. "In an hour. Everything will be ready." He hangs up. He sits motionless for a few seconds. Then he gets up and opens the office door. His appearance in the room instantly changes the atmosphere. The music plays, but it seems as if it's been turned off. All eyes are on him. "Lily?" His voice is quiet, but audible to everyone. "Come to me." The girl practically runs towards him. He steps back into the office, letting her go first. "We're canceling all appointments for the next 4 hours," Hansel says, not sitting down. "We're top-tier clients. We'll give everyone a 20% discount on their next visit. Apologize. Tell them there was a water supply problem." Lily's eyes widen. "Cancel everyone? That's unheard of. The whole salon?" she asks again. "The entire salon," he confirms. "The VIP room needs to be prepared for a top reception. Full sterilization, new towels, robe. Bring my personal toolkit. It's in the safe. Call Mina and Jason here. Now." Lily nods and runs out of the office. Hansel follows her out. He addresses the two clients and their stylist. "I apologize for disturbing you. There's an emergency at the salon. We'll have to interrupt your treatments. This is very important to us. Your next appointment will be at a significant discount. Lily will be able to help you reschedule." His tone leaves no room for objection. The clients, slightly surprised but flattered by the owner's attention, agree. The stylist begins gathering their things. A quiet panic breaks out in the salon. An hour later, the Lotus Salon shines with an empty, sterile air. All workstations have been cleared. The reception desk is clear of unnecessary paperwork. In the VIP lounge, separated by a heavy curtain, all the lights are on. New brushes, combs, and scissors in steel sheaths are laid out on the gleaming countertop. Rows of bottles of professional products stand. Everything smells clean and antiseptic. A stack of fluffy ivory towels lies by the hair wash basin. A soft terry cloth robe sits nearby. The salon's team is lined up at the entrance. Kim Hansol stands upright in a perfectly pressed dark suit. Next to him is Mina, his head stylist. She's a woman in her 40s with watchful eyes. On his other side is Jason, a young colorist with a wary gaze. Lily stands frozen behind the counter, trying to breathe more quietly. Cars slowly float past the window. 5 minutes pass. 10. No one says a word. Then a long black car smoothly pulls up to the sidewalk. It looks expensive and very respectable. It stops right in front of the car's door. Lisa's heart skips a beat. Hansel takes a barely perceptible step forward. First, the driver gets out. A man in simple dark clothing. He walks around the car and opens the back door. A woman appears from the car. She's very tall, almost the same height as the driver. She's wearing old, worn, dark sweatpants and a bulky jacket, once blue but now faded to gray. The clothes hang on her like they're on a hanger. She's wearing worn-out sneakers. The woman pauses for a second, looking at the brightly lit showroom window. Then she lowers her head. Her shoulders slump. She takes a step toward the door. The driver says something quietly after her, but she doesn't turn around. The salon door opens with a soft ring. A woman steps inside. She moves slowly, almost stealthily. Her gaze is fixed on the floor. All she sees are her worn sneakers on the shiny tiles. And then everyone in the salon sees it. Her hair trails behind her like a heavy, impossible cloak. It's white, not a beautiful silver or platinum blonde, but a dull, yellowish gray, like old snow by the road. It falls almost to the floor, forming a disordered pile around her legs. It's not just long. It must be 2 meters long if you straightened it out. but it's impossible to straighten them with a glance. The hair is tangled into dense, unkempt mats. It looks dry and lifeless. In places, you can see patches where the hair appears to have been broken or worn away. This mass doesn't so much adorn her as obscure her, making her seem ghostly. It exudes coldness and desolation. The woman stops 2 steps from the entrance. She doesn't raise her head. She simply waits, huddled, as if expecting to be thrown out. The cabin is completely silent. Even the music seems to stop. Lily stands behind the counter, her mouth hanging open. Her hand instinctively reaches for her throat. She's never seen anything like this. She's seen difficult cases, untidy hair. But this looks like the aftermath of a long illness, or years of neglect. Shock mingles in her eyes with horror and sudden pity. Jason, the colorist, involuntarily takes a half step back. His professional mind refuses to function. He looks at this hair and sees no material for work. He sees only disaster. His fingers, accustomed to mixing colors, tremble slightly. Mina, the head stylist, doesn't move. Her face is a professional mask, but her eyes give her away. They're wide open, her eyebrows almost disappearing into her hair. She doesn't look away from that white mane. There's no disgust in her gaze. There's shock, profound distress, and instant, analytical interest. Her mind is already beginning to scan the condition of her scalp, the structure of her hair, the extent of the damage. But even for her, the scale of what she sees is staggering. Only Kim Hansel remains completely calm. If he's shocked, he doesn't show it. He's seen the photos. He's been warned. But reality is always stronger than any description. He takes a deep, silent breath. He breaks the silence. His voice is as even and quiet as ever. There's not a hint of surprise or condemnation in it. "Welcome," he says. He makes a smooth, welcoming gesture with his hand toward the room. "Please, come in. We've been expecting you." The woman finally lifts her head, just a few centimeters. Her gaze glides over the frozen faces. She sees their shock. She sees Lily's gaze drop. She sees Jason's wide eyes. This is what she's been dreading. Her shoulders clench even tighter. She's ready to turn and run. But Hansel acts quickly and confidently. He doesn't let her get embarrassed and leave. "Please, come into my office," he says, already moving forward and pointing toward the frosted glass door. "We can discuss all the details there in peace. Mina, Jason, please prepare everything we need in the VIP lounge. Lily, please bring us some tea. Green with jasmine." His commands break the icy silence. People stir, as if emerging from a stupor. Mina nods silently and, with one last appraising glance at the client's hair, disappears behind the curtain into the VIP room. Jason quickly follows her. Lily dashes off toward the small kitchen. The woman looks at Hansel. She wasn't expecting such a reception. She expected disgust, a whisper, an immediate refusal. But this man speaks to her as if she were an important guest. She takes a hesitant step, then another. Her hair trails behind her across the floor like a heavy ponytail. Hansel opens the office door and lets her in first. The office smells of wood and leather. He gestures to a comfortable chair opposite his desk. "Please sit down." The woman slowly sinks into the chair. She sits on the very edge, keeping her back straight and not leaning back. Some of her hair falls to the floor around the chair. Some stays behind her. She looks down again at her hands, folded in her lap. Hansel sits down opposite her. He doesn't sit in his large leather chair, but on a regular stool, so he's level with her. He doesn't hover. He simply sits and waits. Lily enters with a tray. On it are 2 porcelain teapots and 2 thin cups. She places the tray on the table, trying not to look at her guest, and leaves just as quietly, closing the door behind her. Hansel pours tea. The scent of jasmine fills the room. "My name is Kim Hansel," he says. "I am the owner of this salon." The woman is silent. She stares at the steam rising from the cup. Her hands rest on her lap, and she makes no attempt to pick up the cup. "You don't have to worry," Hansel continues. His voice is quiet, almost monotone. There's no pressure. "You're safe here. This is my personal space, and our meeting today is completely confidential." He pauses, giving her time. "I was told you need our help, and we're here to provide it. But first, I'd like to know how to address you." He doesn't ask, "What's your name?" He suggests she say whatever name she's comfortable with. For the first time, the woman lifts her eyes high enough to meet his, just for a second. His eyes are dark, calm. There's no pity in them that humiliates, no curiosity that hurts. There's simply attention. She looks at her hands again. Her voice, when she finally speaks, is quiet, hoarse from the long silence. There's a hint of uncertainty in it. Iris, she breathes. Iris, Hansel repeats, as if accepting the name. It's a pleasure to meet you, Iris. Thank you for coming. He takes a sip of tea. Iris still doesn't touch her cup. Now I'll explain how everything will work, Hansel begins. The entire salon is at your disposal today. You are our only client. My top team is ready to get to work. We have no other appointments. No one will rush you. Iris slowly looks up at him, a spark of disbelief mixed with shock appearing in her dark eyes. We have a separate room, he continues. Mina, my head stylist, will be waiting for you there. She has extensive experience working with complex cases. Jason, our colorist, will be with her. I will be overseeing the process myself. We will do everything in our power. He looks at her straight. Our goal isn't just to cut or color your hair. Our goal is to restore it. Restore your health. We'll proceed carefully and gradually. No sudden moves. You can stop the process at any time. It's your decision. Are you ready to begin? Iris looks at him. She hears the words, but they seem strange, like they come from another world. The entire salon is yours. The best team. She hasn't heard anyone speak of her in that context in a long time. She's used to being ignored or shunned. She can't believe her ears. But there's no mockery in this man's voice. There's no deception in his eyes. She wants to believe. She really wants to. She can't find the words. She simply nods slowly, very slowly. She nods once, her head bowed so low that her chin almost touches her chest. It's the nod of someone who has given up, yet decided to take a step into the unknown. A nod that mingles fear and a faint, glimmering hope. Hansel emerges from the office and softly speaks to Mina, who is waiting at the entrance to the VIP lounge. Mina nods and steps inside. A minute later, Hansel returns. Everything is ready, Iris. Please, come with us. Iris struggles to her feet. She follows Hansel again, her hair rustling on the floor. He leads her to the VIP lounge and pulls back the heavy velvet curtain. Inside, everything is brightly lit. A wide, comfortable chair stands in the center next to the hair-washing sink. Towels are already laid out nearby. Mina stands in a professional robe. Her expression is focused yet calm. Iris, this is Mina, Hansel introduces again. She'll be with you every step of the way. I'll be right there. You can trust her completely. Mina tilts her head slightly. Hello, Iris. Let's start with the essentials. First, we'll wash your hair. That might take a while. Will that be okay? Iris nods silently. She walks over to the chair and sits down hesitantly. Mina helps her lean back. Iris's neck rests on the specially soft ledge of the sink. She closes her eyes. It's easier than seeing her reflection in the ceiling or in other people's eyes. Mina turns on the water. She adjusts the temperature, testing it first on her hand, then on the very edge of the stream near Iris's temple. Is the temperature normal? Yes, Iris answers quietly. Mina begins. She doesn't apply shampoo right away. First, she simply wets her hair thoroughly with warm water. She does this slowly, separating the strands with her hands. The water needs to penetrate. This takes many minutes. Dry, porous hair initially almost repel water, then it begins to absorb it, becoming heavier. Mina takes a special, gentle cleansing shampoo. She lathers it in her palms and begins to apply it, first to her scalp. Her fingers move very carefully, applying almost no pressure. She massages, trying not to tug or pull. The foam that appears isn't white. It immediately turns grayish. The water draining into the sink is cloudy. Dust particles, sand, and small debris are visible in it. Mina doesn't comment on this. She simply continues. She applies shampoo twice. After the first lather, the water is completely dark. After the second, it's lighter, but still opaque. Next, she applies a deep cleansing, yet gentle conditioner. She leaves it on for a few minutes, while she combs the ends of her hair with a wide-toothed comb. She detangles each tangle with endless patience. Sometimes you hear a soft click as the tangled mass breaks free and disappears into the drain. The washing process takes almost 40 minutes. Iris lies with her eyes closed. Warm water, gentle touches. She can't remember the last time her hair was touched with such care. It's a strange feeling. It's almost painful because it reminds her of something that has been missing for so long. Mina wraps Iris's washed hair in a large terry towel. She helps her sit up. Now let's take a look, Mina says quietly. She leads Iris to the hairdresser's chair in the center of the room. There's a large mirror in front of it, but Mina turns Iris sideways to it for now. She sits down on a small stool with wheels. Hansel stands to the side, watching. Jason is preparing some vials on the table. Mina removes the towel. Iris's damp, clean hair looks different now. It's still white, but now it's a cool, almost ash-colored shade, and it's still incredibly long, lying in heavy, wet strands on the floor. Mina begins her examination. She picks up a small lamp with a magnifying glass. She parts the hair into thin strands at the roots. She examines the scalp. The scalp is in good condition, she notes quietly, mostly to herself. No irritation, no damage. That's very good. Then she examines the hair itself, from roots to tips. Her face is serious. She tests its elasticity. She takes a thin strand and tugs gently. The hair doesn't stretch, but breaks immediately. It's dry and brittle. The ends of almost all the hair are split. In some places, the hair is broken off at different lengths. There are areas where the hair has become thinner, almost reaching the point of being vellose. Mina silently combs a single strand of hair with a special comb. Even on clean, conditioned hair, the dry, brittle sound is audible. She examines everything, every area. Almost 15 minutes of complete silence pass, broken only by Mina's quiet questions. Does it feel uncomfortable here? Or, is there a pulling sensation? Finally, Mina puts down her comb and magnifying glass. She takes a deep breath and looks up first at Hansel, then at Iris. Iris, Mina begins. Her voice is soft, but there's a professional firmness to it. Your hair is very damaged. Very. The main problem is the length and dryness. The hair at the ends is dead. It's not nourished. It's brittle, porous. It pulls everything else down with it, gets tangled, and damages the structure of the hair above. Iris listens, looking at the floor. She expects this. We can try treatments, Mina continues. Masks, serums. But if we leave our hair this long, the effect will be minimal and very slow. The damaged ends will continue to break and split further up the length. Essentially, we'll be treating what can no longer be treated. Mina pauses. She chooses her words carefully. There's another way, more radical, but the only correct one from a professional standpoint. We need to remove the bulk of the damaged hair, shorten it significantly. Then we'll be able to work with living, healthy hair. We'll be able to restore it, strengthen it. Over time, the hair will grow back, but this time healthy. Iris closes her eyes. She knew it would sound like that. But hearing it feels like receiving a death sentence. This hair has been with her for years. It was her screen, her refuge. Bad, but hers. How much? She exhales with difficulty. Mina looks at Hansel. He nods slightly. About shoulder length, Mina says quietly. Maybe even a little higher. I need to trim off all the dead mass. I can't promise the exact length until I start cutting, but it will most likely be here. She gently touches her own neck, level with her collarbone. 2 meters of hair, down to the shoulders. Iris can't imagine it. There's a long silence. Hansel steps forward. Iris, he says, this is your choice, only yours. We can't do this without your full consent. You can think about it, as long as you need to. He looks at Mina. Maybe we should take a break? Some tea? Mina nods. She moves away. Jason, who had been silently watching this whole time, quickly covers the small table nearby with a napkin and sets out the teapot and cup. Iris sits, hugging herself. She's shivering, even though the cabin is warm. Hansel pours her tea and sets the cup down next to her. They've been like this for a long time, Iris says suddenly, not looking at anyone. Her voice is broken. I just stopped paying attention. At first, I didn't care. Then, I didn't care. They were in the way. They clung to everything, but it was like they couldn't be removed. They were just there. She takes a sip of tea. The hot liquid seems to bring her back to reality a little. Outside, hair is an extra hassle. It needs to be washed and dried. And where? It's cold. Water is hard to find. It's easier to just tie it up and forget about it. But it grows and becomes heavy. Sometimes it feels like it's weighing you down. More and more. She speaks quietly, abruptly. Mina and Hansel simply listen. They don't interrupt. People look. Sometimes they laugh. More often they turn away. Hair? It's like a sign that you've sunk, that you don't care. And you start to believe it yourself. She falls silent. There are no tears in her eyes, only weariness. A deep weariness that has accumulated over the years. Mina looks at her. Her gaze is no longer just professional. Something human, warm, appears. I understand, Mina says very simply. It's not just hair, it's part of history. Cutting it off is like saying goodbye to that history. It's scary. These words, so simple and precise, seem to make a slight crack in the wall around Iris. She looks at Mina. For the first time, she really looks. She sees in her eyes not pity, but understanding. Respect for her fear. Hansel says quietly, "We don't want to force you to do anything. We want to help you release the weight you're carrying." Literally, this isn't goodbye. It's making room for something new. Healthy. Iris looks at her hands, then at the wet strands lying on her shoulders and back. They feel so heavy, so dead. She remembers Mina's touch while she was washing. Careful, respectful. She remembers Hansel talking to her in the office. Like equal. No one shouted at her. No one demanded that she leave. She was offered tea. They talked to her. Trust is a fragile thing. It's almost gone from her life. But here, in this bright room, among strangers doing their jobs, she feels its first stirrings. They demand nothing from her except agreement. They offer help, real professional help. She takes a deep breath, then she exhales. "Come on," she says quietly but clearly. "Cut it out." The words are spoken. Something shifts in the air. The tension of fear gives way to the tension of readiness. Mina nods. Her expression becomes focused again. She stands up. "Okay, first, we'll trim the bulk of it to make it easier to work with. Jason, please get some sterile scissors ready, the big ones." Jason immediately hands her a pair of large, sharp, straight scissors with black handles from an open steel case. Mina tests their sharpness by snapping them in the air. She approaches Iris from behind. She gathers her still damp hair into a single, heavy ponytail at the nape of her neck, but she doesn't tie it. She simply holds the entire mass of hair with her left hand, level with the line where the first, most radical cut should be. "I'll start now," Mina says. "Ready?" Iris sits up straight. She looks into the mirror in front of her. She sees her pale face, the huge mass of blonde hair in Mina's hands. She sees Mina raising the scissors. "Yes," Iris whispers. She can't look. She closes her eyes. Tightly. A sound is heard. Not a loud click, but a thick, heavy, almost muffled shh. It's the sound of sharp blades cutting through a dense, wet mass of hair, as thick as an arm. The sound is prolonged because there is so much hair. Iris feels a huge weight suddenly lift from her head. The physical sensation of lightness is instantaneous and overwhelming. Her head, her neck, her shoulders seem to rise of their own accord, freed from the burden they've carried for years. "You can open your eyes," Mina's voice says softly. Iris slowly opens them. She sees herself in the mirror. For the first time in years, she sees her neck and shoulders. They look thin, almost fragile. Her hair now lies on them, wet, in strands darkened by the water. It reaches her collarbones. Not the floor, just her collarbones. It's a shock, an absolute visual shock. She doesn't recognize herself. The person in the mirror with short hair, it's not her. It's someone else. Lighter, more open. Mina holds a severed mass of hair in her hands. It's a thick white strand over 5 feet long. It looks alien, like the severed part of some creature. Mina carefully places it in a large plastic bag, which Jason immediately takes. Then she returns to Iris. "Now we'll shape the haircut," Mina says, her voice sounding more cheerful. "Right now it's uneven. It needs to be shaped." Iris can't tear her gaze away from the mirror. She raises her hand and carefully touches the wet strands at her shoulder. They're soft. There's so little of them. She can feel the skin on the back of her neck through them. Mina begins trimming the remaining hair. She works quickly and confidently. The clicks of the scissors are now crisp and clear. She creates a light, layered shape that will conceal any unevenness and add volume. Iris watches her reflection change with each sweep of the scissors. The contours of her face become sharper. Her neck becomes longer. Her shoulders appear broader. And suddenly, she realizes it's not a stranger. It's her. Simply her, who hasn't been seen for a long time. She was hidden behind a curtain of dead hair, behind dirt, behind neglect. And now she's visible. Something tightens in her chest. It rises in her throat. At first, she thinks it's panic, but no, it's not panic. The first tear rolls down her cheek completely silently. Then the second. They are not accompanied by sobs. These are quiet, calm tears. They flow of their own accord, as if releasing some internal pressure that has been building up all these years. These aren't tears of grief. These are tears of incredible, dizzying relief. It's as if she's thrown off the heavy, wet cloak she's worn throughout her life. Her shoulders straighten of their own accord. She sits up straighter in her chair. Mina notices the tears. She pauses for a second. "Is everything okay?" she asks quietly. Iris nods, speechless. She even smiles through her tears. Her nod says, "Yes, couldn't be better." Mina finishes the haircut. Now Iris's hair is a neat, relaxed shape, shoulder length. It still looks a bit dry, but not disastrously so. "Now the most important thing," says Mina. "Treatment." Jason rolls up a cart with bottles. Mina selects several. One is a thick, almost transparent serum. Another is a creamy, rich white mask. "First, we'll apply the serum to your scalp," explains Mina. "It will stimulate growth and strengthen the roots." She applies the product with a thin applicator, creating neat partings. The cool liquid touches her scalp. Then Mina applies the mask. This is for the hair structure itself. It will seal the cuticles, nourish them, and add elasticity. She generously applies the thick mask to the entire length of her hair, from roots to tips. Her hands gently massage it in. Then she gathers her hair under a special shower cap. "Let it sit for 15 minutes, Mina says. Iris sits under a warm dryer. The warmth spreads pleasantly across her head. She closes her eyes. It's quiet inside her, strangely quiet, as if a long, strong storm has passed and a calm has set in. After 15 minutes, Mina washes out the mask. Her hair already looks better. It shines while wet. "Now for the color," Mina announces. "Your natural blonde is very beautiful, but it needs shine. We won't dye it, we'll tone it. We'll remove the yellowness and add a cool silver. This will strengthen your hair and give it a luxurious look." Jason has already prepared the mixture, a special toning cream in a silvery pearl shade. Mina begins applying it with a brush, working it thoroughly and evenly into each strand. Toning is a quicker process than coloring. After 20 minutes, Mina tests the color on a single strand, rinsing the toner out in a small sink. "Perfect," she says with satisfaction. She carefully rinses out the mixture. And now Iris is sitting in the chair again with wet hair. But now it's not ashen. It's the color of pure first winter frost, cool, radiant, with a slight pearlescent sheen. Mina grabs a hairdryer and a round brush. She begins drying and styling her hair. The warm air and the brush strokes create volume. Soft waves frame her face. It shines, truly shines, like fine silk. Mina finishes laying out Gyad and steps aside. Iris looks in the mirror. A woman with short, stylish, silver-white hair sits before her. It gleams in the lamplight. It falls perfectly, softly framing her cheekbones, accentuating her jawline. Her eyes, no longer hidden by the curtain of hair, seem larger, deeper. She turns her head. Her hair moves obediently, shimmering. It's light. She barely feels its weight. And then it happens. The corners of her lips, of their own accord, begin to lift, hesitantly at first, then wider. A smile appears on her face, small, embarrassed, but real. The first smile in many, many years, born not of bitter irony, but of pure, bright surprise and joy at what she sees. "Do you like it?" Mina asks quietly, and her own smile can be heard in her voice. Iris nods. She can't speak. She just looks and smiles. At this moment, another woman enters the room, young, with a neat bag in her hands. She is a makeup artist. "Serena." Hansel called her. "Iris, this is Serena." Hansel, who had been watching from the corner of the room the whole time, introduces. "She'll help complete the look, if that's okay with you." Iris is a little confused. Makeup? For her? She already feels overdressed for the party. She begins. "Only if you want," Serena says quickly. She has kind eyes. "Nothing complicated. just to highlight your features. Very light toning. So you see yourself in a new light. Literally. Iris looks at her reflection, at her shining hair, and nods. Why not? Serena places a small mirror on the table in front of her and begins working. She cleanses Iris's skin with a gentle toner. Then she applies a light, moisturizing cream. Her movements are confident yet gentle. Serena says quietly, applying a thin layer of foundation just to even out her complexion. You have amazing skin and stunning cheekbones. Iris listens, blushing. She's not used to compliments. With Arena, she uses minimal products. A touch of brown eyeshadow to emphasize the depth of her eyes. Mascara to make her lashes pop. A touch of blush on her cheekbones. And for her lips, a clear lip balm with a pink tint. She works quickly, in 10 minutes. Done, she says, putting her brushes away. Iris looks into the large mirror again. The silence in the room becomes absolute. Even Mina and Jason freeze. A stranger sits in the mirror. And yet, it's her. But she's the way nature may have intended her to be, but life never allowed her to be. Her silver hair glows with a cool, refined light. It makes her skin appear clearer and her eyes brighter. Light makeup doesn't conceal, but rather reveals her face. It appears calm, even a little surprised, but it has a new firmness. Her gaze, which once darted across the floor, now holds itself straight. Her shoulders are squared. Her posture is upright. This is the image of a confident, beautiful woman. A woman with dignity. A woman who looks at the world and is ready to meet its gaze. Iris slowly raises her hand and touches her hair again. Short, silky, light. She sees her reflection, which mirrors her movements. She's no longer hiding. The curtain has fallen. The theater of the old life is over. There are no more tears in her eyes. Only a quiet, silent amazement and a budding feeling she had long forgotten. A sense of self-worth. It is still fragile, like first ice, but it is there. Hansel steps forward. He looks at her, then at her reflection in the mirror. Something like a slight approving nod appears on his usually impassive face. Job done. And brilliantly done. Iris, he says. Congratulations. Meet you. Hansel breaks the silence in the VIP lounge. He steps forward, his gaze sliding from Iris's shining hair to her old, worn jacket, casually slung across the seat next to her. The work isn't finished yet, he says evenly. He turns to Mina and nods. She, understanding, retreats into a small dressing room behind a curtain. Iris looks at him, uncomprehending. She already feels so incredibly transformed that she can't imagine what else she could say. Mina returns. In her hands is a spacious yet elegant bag made of thick craft paper with slender handles. Hansel takes it. We couldn't let you leave in your old clothes, he says, handing the bag to Iris. This is part of the order. Everything is tailored to your exact measurements. Iris slowly takes the bag. It's heavier than it looks. She peers inside. There are clothes there. Simple, but high quality. A soft navy blue turtleneck, straight-leg trousers in a good black fabric, a warm gray cardigan, and a light but sturdy sheath dress in a deep emerald shade. There are also underwear, new tights, and a pair of simple black pumps with a low heel, all true to size. How did they know? You can change here, Mina suggests, pointing to the dressing room. We'll wait. Iris, still in disbelief, goes into the small room. There's a mirror and a comfortable stool. She takes off her old jacket and trousers. The touch of the new fabric gives her goosebumps. It's been so long since she's worn anything clean, whole, smelling of freshness, not damp and melancholy. She chooses a dress and shoes. The fabric of the dress falls softly across her figure. The shoes fit perfectly. She looks at herself in the dressing room mirror. A woman in an elegant emerald dress, with a flawless silver haircut. It's someone from a magazine, from another universe. She takes a deep breath and steps out. When she returns to the main dining room, everyone freezes again. But this time, their gazes are pure admiration. Lily gasped at the counter, covering her mouth with her hand. Jason whistled softly, almost inaudibly. Mina looks on with professional pride, arms crossed over her chest. Serena, the makeup artist, smiles. Hansel nods appraisingly. Everything fits together. The image is complete. That's it, he says. We're done. Iris doesn't move. She stands in the middle of the room, unsure what to do next. Say thank you? Words seem too weak to describe what's happened. You'll have help carrying your things to the car, Hansel says, and Jason immediately grabs the bag with the remaining clothes and her old things, carefully packed in a separate bag. Iris walks toward the exit. Every step in her new shoes echoes in her mind with a clear, firm thud. She doesn't shuffle. She walks. Lily opens the door for her. "Goodbye?" she says quietly, and there is genuine warmth in her voice. Iris steps outside. The evening air is cool. The black car is still waiting at the curb. The driver, seeing her, quickly stubs out his cigarette and opens the back door. He looks at her with indifferent politeness, but there's a flicker of surprise in his gaze. This is no longer the woman he brought home. Iris turns around for a second. Behind the glass window of the Lotus Salon, they are all standing. Hansel, Mina, Jason, Lily, Serena. They are looking at her. They are watching her go. Not with pity, with respect, with a quiet professional satisfaction from a job well done, and with something else, with hope. She gets into the car. The door closes with a dull thud. The car moves smoothly. Iris doesn't look out the window. She looks at her reflection in the dark glass of the partition, and she sees the same stranger in the rearview mirror. She exists. This is not a dream. The atmosphere in the salon slowly returns to normal. Mina, Jason, and Serena begin cleaning the VIP area. Lily returns to the counter, but her gaze wanders toward the door for a long time. Hansel silently returns to his office. He closes the door. The silence is absolute. He sits at his desk, but doesn't turn on the computer. He simply sits there for a few minutes, staring straight ahead. Then he picks up his personal cell phone, not the one lying on the desk. It has a plain, unremarkable appearance. Hansel dials a number from memory. The call doesn't last long. The phone is answered on the first ring. No one says hello. Hansel says quietly but clearly into the phone. Completely. Haircut, treatment, styling, clothing. The client has left. There's silence on the other end of the line for a few seconds. Then comes a short, emotionless voice. Okay. The connection is lost. Hansel puts the phone back in his pocket. He receives no thanks or further questions. He's done his job. The order is complete. That's all. He leaves the office. The room is almost tidied. Mina finishes wiping down the instruments. "Thank you, Alo," Hansel says in a casual, businesslike tone. "You did a flawless job. We can leave early today. Today's pay will be double." The people nod in agreement. They are tired, but it's a pleasant tiredness, the result of significant work. They begin to gather their things. Hansel looks at the empty hairdressing chair. It still retains the faint scent of professional products and a new, unfamiliar smell. The scent of expensive hair tonic and fresh fabric. The scent of transformation. He turns off the main lights, leaving only the emergency light by the entrance. A week passes. Things are going as usual at the Lotus Salon. That day is rarely talked about. It has become part of the establishment's internal legend, a strange story known only to a few. One afternoon, during rush hour at the front desk, Lisa's door opened. A woman entered. Lily looks up, ready to smile at the new client. Then she freezes. It's Iris, but not the Iris who walked out of here a week ago. She stands up straight, her shoulders squared. She's wearing a simple yet clean and tidy blue dress and a light jacket. On her feet are the same pumps she was given, now slightly worn but neatly brushed. Her silver white hair is styled. It looks healthy, shiny. She doesn't avert her gaze. She looks straight ahead, though a shadow of her former uncertainty still lingers in her eyes. "Hello," Iris says. Her voice is quiet, but no longer hoarse. It sounds clearer. Lily comes to her senses. "Iris! Hello!" Her voice is filled with genuine joy. "How are you? You look wonderful." "Thank you." Iris smiles slightly. It's still a timid smile, but it comes easier for her. I wanted to tell everyone something. May I?" Of course you can." Lily immediately presses the intercom button. "Mina, Jason, to the counter, please. Special guest." Mina and Jason emerge from the depths of the car. They stop when they see Iris. Mina is the first to smile. A wide, warm smile. "Iris! What a pleasant surprise." Jason nods silently, but his gaze speaks for itself. He's amazed at how good her hair looks a week later. So the treatment has worked. Iris looks a little embarrassed by the attention. She pulls a small package, wrapped in clean white paper from a simple cloth bag. I couldn't come empty-handed, she says, looking at the floor, but then looks up with an effort. This is for you, for everyone, for your kindness. She hands the package to Mina. She takes it carefully. Can I open it? Iris nods. Mina unfolds the paper. Inside is a small but beautiful tin box. Inside are homemade cookies. They're neatly arranged in paper cups. It's clear they were made with great care. The cookies are different. One is filled with nuts. Another is dusted with powdered sugar. They smell of vanilla and butter. I baked them myself, Iris explains quietly. I found a temporary job at a bakery, as a cleaner, but the owner let me use the kitchen sometimes after my shift. It's a simple gift, modest, but in this modesty lies a tremendous, sincere effort. This isn't a hastily bought box of chocolates. This is her time, her labor, her first tentative steps toward a normal life, embodied in cookies. Mina looks at the cookies, then at Iris. A sparkle appears in her eyes. This is wonderful. Thank you so much, Iris. This is the most precious gift I've had all week. Jason picks up one of the cookies and takes a bite. Delicious, he says simply, and it sounds like the highest praise. Lily is already clapping her hands. We'll all have some tea together now. Definitely. At that moment, Hansel emerges from the office. Yes. He's heard voices. He stops, seeing Iris and the lively group at the counter. His face doesn't express surprise. He simply observes. He sees the gift. He sees how Iris holds herself now. He sees the light in the eyes of his employees. He moves closer. Iris, he says, and everyone falls silent. It's good to see you. You look wonderful. Thank you, Iris repeats, but now she looks directly at him. Thank you for everything. For the chance. Hansel nods. He looks at her hands. They are no longer clasped in a helpless gesture. They are calm, but there are traces of work on them. Small scratches, a slight roughness. You said you work in a bakery? As a cleaner? He asks. Yes. It won't be long. It's a replacement. But it's something, Iris replies. Hansel ponders something silently. He looks at his salon, then back at Iris. Iris, I have a proposition for you. A business one. Everyone perks up. Iris looks at him with curiosity and a hint of apprehension. We're looking for a responsible part-timer, says Hansel. The work is simple but important. Maintaining cleanliness in the salon and the VIP room, helping with the laundry of towels and robes, maintaining order in the waiting area, sometimes assisting the stylists with simple tasks, dispensing products, washing brushes. The schedule is flexible, pay is fair, and hourly. He pauses, letting her know. I've seen how you've approached the process here. You're patient. You value other people's work. Would you be willing to give it a try? Start with, say, a few hours a day? Silence hangs in the air. Iris looks at him, disbelieving. She looks at Mina, at Jason, at Lisa. No one looks outraged or against it. Their faces are filled with anticipation and support. She thinks of the bakery, the smell of bleach and wet rags. Then she thinks of the salon, the smell of cleanliness, care, professionalism, the way it smelled here when Mina applied the treatment mask to her hair. Yes, she says firmly, without hesitation. I want to. I really want to try. Iris arrives at the salon the next morning, wearing comfortable, dark work clothes. She's nervous, but tries not to show it. Lily greets her with a smile and leads her into a small utility room. The salon's signature robe hangs there. Simple, light gray, the same as everyone else's. Iris puts it on. The fabric is soft and clean. On the chest is a small lotus emblem. She feels a strange pride. Mina shows her where the cleaning supplies and rags are kept and where the towel washer is. The job is simple. Wipe down all surfaces, wash the floors in the hall and bathroom, vacuum the carpet in the waiting area, sort and wash used towels, and iron and fold clean ones. Iris gets to work. She works silently, meticulously. She wrings out the cloth so that there are no streaks on the floor. She arranges the bottles on the vanity mirrors in perfect order. She inhales the familiar scents of the salon, but now with a different feeling. This is her place of work, and all the while she's washing or wiping, her eyes and ears are working. She's observing. She sees Mina talking to a client, gently asking about their wishes. She sees Jason mixing paints in a bowl, and the color turns out exactly as pictured in the catalog. She hears the quiet, confident sound of scissors in the hands of the stylists. She sees Lily at the counter, diffusing minor conflicts and putting clients in a positive mood with a smile. Iris doesn't just clean, she learns the atmosphere, the professionalism, the language of this place. A few days later, Mina notices this. She sees Iris wiping down a nearby shelf, pause for a second, watching Mina twirl her elaborate evening hairstyle. Interesting? Mina asks calmly, without stopping her work. Iris flinches, as if caught in the act. Sorry, it's coming out beautifully. It's okay, says Mina. Do you wash your brushes after painting? Yes, Iris nods. Come here, I'll show you how to do it right. That's a skill, too. When the client leaves, Mina calls Iris to her station. She shows her the different types of brushes and explains what each one does. She demonstrates how to wash them with a special shampoo to prevent the paint from clogging and keep the bristles soft. Then she hands Iris a clean brush and a bowl of water. Try it. At first, Iris's fingers don't obey, but she concentrates. She imitates Mina's movements. After 10 minutes, she's more confident in the task. Okay, Mina approves. Tomorrow I'll show you how to properly wrap hair with curling irons for a perm, and how to check the water temperature before washing a client's hair. Those are the basics. You can't do without them. Iris nods, a sparkle in her eyes. This isn't just cleaning. These are the first real steps into the profession. But at night, in her temporary room in the hostel she rents with her first earnings, doubts overwhelm her. She lies in the dark and stares at the ceiling. Who was she to think about this? She had no education, no past. She only had a few weeks of cleanliness under her belt. She'd seen others learn, the young women who came to Mina for internships. They had diplomas. They knew the terms. They'd grown up in different circumstances. Iris is afraid that this is all just a fluke, that she can't handle it. That one day, everyone will see her for what she was, and it will all be over. The old fears that have been gnawing at her for years are returning. She feels like an imposter in this world of glitter and beauty. The next morning, she arrives at the salon quieter than usual. She goes about her work mechanically. She doesn't look at the stylists. Her shoulders slump again. Mina notices this immediately. During a break, she approaches Iris, who is drinking tea in a corner of the utility room. Is something wrong? Mina asks bluntly. Iris shrugs, looking into her cup. Just wondering what I'm doing here. You don't need any more trouble. Mina sits down next to me. Listen to me, she says firmly. You're not the problem. You're a worker. You do your job well. You're learning. You're interested. That's all it takes. The rest will come. That day, Jason, usually quiet, asks her to help him mix 2 shades of paint using his recipe. He dictates the proportions. Iris nervously measures the tubes into a bowl. She's afraid of making a mistake, but she succeeds. Jason checks with a brush. The color is right. He simply nods. Okay. Lily asks her to help sort through a new batch of professional cosmetics sent by the supplier. Together, they check the invoice and put the bottles back in the warehouse. Lily chats about trivial matters, as if she were a colleague. No one says big words. No one makes pompous gestures. But with their simple actions, they show. You belong here. You're part of the team. We see you. By the end of the day, Iris's shoulders straighten again. The fear recedes. It's not gone yet, but it no longer controls her. A month passes. Iris is now confidently assisting with treatment preparation. She knows where everything is. She knows how to prepare a long-lasting styling solution according to Mina's recipe. She knows how to properly wrap a client's hair in a towel after washing to keep it comfortable and dry. One day, an elderly client booked Mina for a simple procedure, gray toning and styling. The client was calm and kind. Mina, preparing for the next complex coloring, looks at Iris. Iris, can you help Mrs. Clark? You need to apply the toning shampoo to her washed hair, distribute it, leave it on for 5 minutes, and rinse. Then help her blow dry her hair. I'll be here if anything happens. Iris freezes. Direct client interaction. She nods, but her stomach turns cold. She approaches the chair. She smiles, the way Lily does. Hello, I'm Iris. I'll help you today. She follows the instructions precisely. She washes the client's hair, checking the water temperature. She applies a toning shampoo, carefully distributing it throughout every strand. She sets a timer on her phone. While she waits, she quietly asks the client how she's feeling, whether her scalp is burning. Everything is going well. She rinses out the formula and gently pats her hair dry with a towel. She seats her client in front of the mirror and begins blow-drying. Her movements aren't as confident as Mina's, but she's trying. The client's hair becomes smooth, and the silvery hue is applied evenly. "Thank you, dear," Mrs. Clark says, looking in the mirror. "You're so attentive, and your hair looks wonderful." These simple words sound like a standing ovation to Iris. The client is happy. She did it. Mina, who had been watching out of the corner of her eye, comes over and silently straightens a strand of hair. Her gaze says, "See, you can do it." After this incident, something clicks inside Iris. The fear of making mistakes doesn't disappear, but now, alongside it, there's confidence. Confidence that she can learn. That same evening, after finishing work, she approaches Lisa at the counter. "Lily, do you know where I can find courses for beginner hairdressers? Not long ones. The basics." Lily's face lights up. "Of course I know. There's a good school 2 blocks away. Evening classes. Inexpensive. I started there myself. Let me give you the contact information." Iris writes down the address and phone number. The next day, on her day off, she goes to the school. She fills out an application. Under previous work experience, she writes, "Assistant at the Lotus Salon." She pays the first month's rent down from her savings, the money she'd been saving for a new jacket. That evening, returning to the hostel, she places the Fundamentals of Hairdressing textbook she bought at school on the table. She opens to the first page. She begins to read. Work, study, sleep. Iris's life is taking on a clear rhythm. She no longer lives in a hostel. She rents a small but private room in a quiet neighborhood. It has a window, a bed, a table, and a tiny kitchenette. It's her fortress. It's clean. It smells of tea and apples. She buys herself a mannequin head with hair. After school, she practices at home. She braids, curls, and tries simple haircuts. Her fingers become more confident. She's no longer afraid to look in the mirror. She sees a woman with a tired but calm face, with radiant short hair, wearing clean, simple clothes. A woman who knows where she's going every morning and why. The transformation that began in the salon is now completed within. She is shedding the old skin of fear and hopelessness. Step by step, day by day, she is rebuilding herself from the inside out. One day, at a less than busy hour, a man walks into the salon. He's dressed in casual jeans and a dark jacket. Nothing special. He sits down in the waiting area and picks up a magazine. Lily offers to help him, but he declines, saying he's waiting for a friend. He sits quietly, reading. Meanwhile, Iris helps Jason prepare the dye for the client. She measures out the developer and color, mixing them thoroughly until smooth. Then she goes to the utility room to get clean towels for Mina. Her movements are quick and precise. She doesn't fuss. The man in the jacket watches her from behind a magazine. His face is expressionless. He watches Iris converse easily with Lisa, her knowing nods to Jason, her careful adjustments to the fork on the vanity by the mirror. Discreetly, without drawing undue attention, he watches her for 10 minutes. Then he quietly gets up and leaves, without waiting for his acquaintance. That evening, Hansel receives a short message on his personal phone. The investment is justified. Continue. He reads it, erases it, and returns to reviewing the reports. There's no smile on his face, but slight lines of satisfaction appear at the corners of his eyes. Evening falls. The customers have left. Mina and Jason have already left. Lily is counting the takings. Iris finishes cleaning. She wipes the last mirror, and its surface is perfectly clean, streak-free. She approaches the large window of the salon, which overlooks the street. It's already dark outside. The streetlights are on. The lights of other lives are visible in the windows opposite. The dark glass of the display case reflects the salon's interior and her own figure. She sees the reflection of a woman in a gray robe with the lotus emblem. The woman has short, stylish silver hair. Her back is straight. Her face is calm and focused. Iris looks at this reflection. She no longer sees a homeless woman with 2 meters of dead hair. She doesn't see a victim begging for alms. She sees a student, a master's assistant, a future stylist, someone with a job, a goal, and a small but personal room, someone who is learning and growing. A light comes on behind her. Lily is turning on the neon lotus sign for the night. The light falls on Iris, and her reflection in the window becomes even brighter, blending with the lights of the night city. She stands there for another moment. Then she turns, takes off her work robe, and hangs it on a hook. She puts on her jacket. She picks up her bag with her textbooks. Okay, Lily, I'm going. See you tomorrow. See you tomorrow, Iris. Don't stay up late studying, Lily calls after her. Iris steps outside. The cool air is invigorating. She adjusts her bag on her shoulder and walks confidently toward the bus stop. She doesn't glance back at her reflection in the shop window. She carries it inside her now. This is her new beginning. And it's only just begun. Several months pass. Iris completes her introductory course. She is now officially considered a junior assistant at the salon. She gains increasing trust. She does simple men's haircuts, washes for complex clients, and tones. One day, a new client arrives at the salon. Rich and capricious, she sees Iris just finishing styling another client's hair. Who is this? She asks Mina. She has an interesting hair color. I want her to do the same for me. Mina gently explains that Iris is still studying and that it's better to book an appointment with her, Mina. But the client insists. Let her try. I'm not afraid. I like her energy. Hansel, EEC, who happens to be in the room, overhears this. He looks at Iris. She turns pale. It's too big a risk. The client's hair color is complex, dark, with a previous coloring. That's not a good idea, Iris quietly tells her client. I might ruin your color. Mina will do it perfectly. Oh, come on. I believe in you, the woman insists. A sparkle flickers in Iris's eyes. This is a chance to prove to herself and everyone that she can do it. It's temptation, but she also feels a cold fear. Iris looks at Mina. She remains silent, letting her make her own choice. Then Iris looks at Hansel. His face is expressionless. He waits. Iris recalls her first lessons at school. The first rule, don't take on a job you're not 100% sure of. The second rule, the client is always right, but their safety and the outcome are more important than their whims. She takes a deep breath. I'm sorry, she says clearly and politely. I appreciate your trust, but I'm not ready to take on such responsibility for your color. Let me invite Mina for you. I'll be assisting her, and I can learn a lot from your case. The client frowns at first, then looks at Iris with renewed interest. You're honest. That's a rare quality. Okay, let it be Mina, but you'll be there. Mina smiles faintly. Hansel turns away, as if checking something on his phone, but his posture betrays approval. Iris resisted temptation. She made the right professional choice. After this incident, Mina begins to trust Iris more. She entrusts her not only with technical work, but also with communicating with some of her regular clients, especially those who are nervous or unsure of themselves. Iris is a good listener. She doesn't interrupt. She speaks calmly and to the point. She doesn't promise the impossible. Clients sense this and relax. They start asking Iris to wash their hair or style their hair. She becomes a trusted confidant for a small but growing circle of people. One of these clients, an elderly teacher, tells her one day, "You, my dear, have a gift. You don't just do hair. You give people confidence." Iris blushes and thanks her. These words mean more to her than any praise for her technique. One day, Iris, on an errand for Lisa, goes to a nearby store to pick up coffee for the salon. Outside, at the store's entrance, she sees a group of people sitting on the ground. Their clothes dirty, their gazes dull. She recognizes that look. She knows that smell. The smell of despair and the street. One of the men looks up at her. He looks first at her face, then at her nice jacket, at her clean shoes. His gaze slides further without recognition. He holds out his hand with a tin can. "Help, miss." Iris freezes. Her heart pounds. She looks at him and sees herself, her old self. She feels a chill of fear run down her spine. Fear of going back. Fear that this will never truly end. She instinctively reaches into her pocket, feeling for a few coins. But then she stops. She recalls Hansel's words, spoken long ago in the office. "We want to help you get rid of the weight." She takes her hand out of her pocket, empty. She doesn't give him any money. Instead, she looks him straight in the eye and says quietly but clearly, "They're serving hot lunch across the street at the cafeteria. They have chicken soup today." The man blinks, surprised not by the refusal, but by the specific information. He mumbles something and crawls away. Iris goes into the store and buys a coffee. Her hands are shaking slightly. She faced her past head on and didn't break. She didn't run away. She even tried to help, in a different way, not with a handout, but with a chance. A young woman is making an appointment at the salon in a week. She wants to cut her long hair short, very short, almost to the scalp. "This is my first time," the girl says, her voice trembling. I'm scared." Mina looks at Iris, then at the girl. "Iris will give you this haircut." She understands what it means to change yourself, and she does it very carefully. Iris's eyes widen. It's a responsibility, but Mina nods encouragingly. Iris approaches the girl. She speaks quietly, asking why she decided to take this step. The girl talks about her illness, about the chemotherapy that wasn't needed, but the fear remains. She wants to start over, with a symbolic liberation. Iris understands every word. She picks up the scissors, the clippers. She works slowly, carefully, constantly checking in with the client. She doesn't just cut. She creates a shape that suits the girl's face. When the work is finished, the girl looks in the mirror. She touches her short, soft stubble. Then she looks at Iris. "Thank you. I'm not afraid now. At all." This gratitude is Iris's first real professional victory. She did it all herself, and she helped someone. Life goes on as usual. Iris no longer rents a room, but a small, separate studio. She buys herself professional scissors. She continues to study at more advanced courses. But sometimes, at night, a shadow visits her. She dreams that she's outside again, that her hair is long and dirty again, that it's all a dream, and she's about to wake up on the cold ground. She wakes up in a sweat, turns on the light, and sits for a long time, hugging her knees. Then she gets up, goes to the bathroom mirror, and touches her short, healthy hair. She looks into her eyes. "This is real," she whispers to herself. "This is now." The shadow retreats, but she knows it will return. Perhaps always. It's an old wound. It's healed, but the scar will remain forever. Hansel calls Iris into his office. She's nervous. She comes in. "Sit down," he says. He doesn't look at her, looking through the papers. Then he puts them down. "You're doing well. The clients are praising you. Mina is pleased." Iris is silent, waiting. "Starting Monday, your salary is increasing," he says in a businesslike tone. "And I want you to take on another responsibility, overseeing the cleanliness and orderliness of the entire salon, monitoring the replenishment of funds and the condition of the junior assistant's instruments, compiling a list of what needs to be ordered. You will report directly to me. This is no longer just a cleaning lady's or assistant's job. It's an administrative and supportive position. Trust. Responsibility. I can handle it," Iris says without hesitation. Hansel answers shortly. "Otherwise, I wouldn't have offered. All the best." The conversation is over. Iris leaves the office. She realizes she's just reached a new level. She's no longer just an employee. She's part of the system, part of Lotus. Lily comes up to Iris. She has a worried look on her face. "Iris, help me. My sister is coming to see me tomorrow. She's always had long hair, but it's in terrible condition, like, well, you know. She doesn't trust anyone. She's afraid of salons. I talked her into coming to me, but she's terrified of hairdressers. I thought, maybe you could talk to her? You know what it's like." Iris looks at Lisa. She understands. This isn't just a client. It's a personal request. And this is a reunion with her darkest past, but through the story of someone else. "Okay," says Iris. "Let her come. I'll talk to her. As a friend, not as a master." The next day, a girl comes into the salon. She's younger than Lisa. She's wrapped in a large shawl, hiding her hair under it. Her eyes are darting, ready to run away. Lily leads her to Iris. "Sonia, this is Iris. She's like a sister to me. Talk to her, okay?" Iris leads Sonia not into the workroom, but into a small utility room with a table and 2 chairs. She brings 2 teas. "Can I see?" Iris asks quietly. After a long pause, Sonia slowly removes her shawl. Beneath it lies long, dark, tangled hair. Not as long as Iris's, but in a very similar state. Neglect. Despair. Iris doesn't touch them. She just looks. "I had ones just like them," she says simply. "Only white. And longer, floor length." Sonia looks up at her. There's distrust in her eyes. "Really?" "True. I walked around with them for years. I thought they were my only refuge, until someone helped me take them off. Literally. Iris tells the story, briefly, without details, about the salon, about the haircut, about what it's like to feel light. She doesn't speak like a psychologist. She speaks like someone who's been through this. Sonia listens, unwaveringly. Interest dawns in her eyes. Then, a glimmer of hope. And, it didn't hurt? To cut it off? No, it was a relief. Like taking off a backpack of stones I've been carrying on my back for years. An hour later, Sonia agrees to a haircut. Not short right away, but enough to cover up the bulk of the damage. She asks Iris to do it. Iris leads Sonia into the hall. She puts on a robe. She picks up a pair of scissors. She remembers the day when Mina stood behind her. Now she stands behind Sonia. She works confidently. She cuts, removes dead hair, and creates a neat shoulder-length cut. Then she washes Sonia's hair and applies a healing mask. Sonia looks in the mirror. She's crying. But, like Iris back then, these are tears of liberation. Lily hugs her sister, then Iris. Thank you. I don't know how to thank you. Iris looks at Sonia, at her shining, though tear-filled eyes. She sees the circle closing. She was helped. Now she's helping. Not everyone. Just one person. But it's something. It's important. She's no longer just an object of someone's charity. She's now someone who can give a helping hand, someone who understands, someone who has walked this path. She feels something new growing inside her, not just confidence, a sense of purpose. Her life takes on a new, deeper meaning. She's in the right place. The salon receives an invitation to participate in a small city competition for young hairdressers. Mid-level salons participate. It's not a grand event, but it's a good opportunity to make a name for themselves. Hansel decides to send a team. It includes Mina as the manager, Jason, and Iris. It's a surprise and a shock for Iris. A competition. In front of judges. Timed. I'm not ready, she tells Mina right away. I'm still learning. Everyone learns sometime, Mina counters. A competition isn't a survival test. It's experience. You'll be doing a simple women's haircut. We'll practice on mannequins. Iris agrees because she can't refuse in front of Mina and Hansel. In the evenings, she stays in the salon after closing time. On mannequins, she perfects the same haircut with millimeter-perfect precision. Her arms ache, her back stiffens. Sometimes she feels like she's not making any progress. But Mina, checking her work, only nods. Better. Again. The fear of failure lives within her constantly. But now, alongside it, there's something else. Passion. The desire to do it perfectly. The day of the competition arrives. The local showroom is bustling with activity. Hairdressing chairs, mirrors, and bright lights. Iris is wearing new, simple black clothes. The Lotus team's work uniform. She's chosen to work with a live model. A quiet student who has agreed to model. Time's up. Iris throws a cape over her client. Her hands are cold. She catches Mina's eye, standing behind the audience barrier. Mina nods calmly. The nod means, you can do it. Just do it. Iris takes a comb and scissors. The first cut. The sound becomes part of the general hum of the room. She stops seeing the audience. She sees only the hair, the shape, the symmetry. She works as she is trained, without fuss, methodically. Her fingers remember every movement. When the timer stops, she puts down her tools. Ready. She takes a step back, and only now notices how hard her heart is beating. The judges walk among the participants, taking notes. They approach Iris, the model. They ask questions, touch her hair, and evaluate the cut. Iris stands nearby, trying to breathe evenly. The results are announced. Lotus takes third place in the team standings. Mina takes Iris by the shoulder. Jason smiles. For a salon of their caliber, this is a good result. Then the awards are announced in the individual categories. Iris's name is mentioned for precision of technical execution. Iris doesn't understand at first. Mina gently nudges her forward. She steps onto the stage on shaky legs. She is handed a small diploma and a professional comb in a case. She mumbles, "Thank you," and returns to the team. She holds more than just a trophy in her hands. It's a piece of paperwork. It's proof that she's more than just a formerly homeless person who got help. She's a professional. Her work has been recognized by other professionals. The next day, a small celebration awaits her at the salon. Lily has decorated the counter. Her colleagues give her a group gift, a set of high-quality brushes. Hansel, passing by, says curtly, "Congratulations on your first award. Frame your diploma." It's a great motivator. Throughout the day, clients who learned of her victory from the salon's social media have been congratulating her. Some are even booking appointments specifically for simple services to get a certified professional to do it. Iris feels awkward under all this praise, but inside, she feels a warm, solid confidence. She's earned it with her work, her sweat, her evenings poring over mannequins. She hangs the diploma in a simple frame on the wall in the utility room, next to the duty roster, not for show, for herself, to see every day. That evening, as she closes the salon, Iris is alone. She stands in the quiet, clean room, smelling of paint and lavender. She looks at her reflection in the dark window, a woman in professional black, with a diploma in precision, with a confident gaze. She's not thinking about the past. She's thinking about the future. She wants to master coloring. Then, maybe, become a top hairstylist like Mina. Maybe one day, open her own small salon for people like her, those who've lost faith and want to start with a clean face and a short haircut. These aren't dreams. These are plans. Concrete, tangible. She has a foundation for them, the profession she now has, a team that has become her support, and she herself is stronger than she could have ever imagined. She turns off the light and steps outside. The lock clicks with a confident sound. She goes home, to her studio, where new textbooks lie on the table. There's still much work ahead, but she no longer fears this road. She knows she can take it, one step at a time, just like she's been doing all this time.